and said, oh, can I sit on, can you let my son sit on the right and the other one sit on the left? Because probably this was fresh. So it is believed that James and John, put their mother up to making this request to Jesus. But we don't know that, for sure. We can only surmise that that was the case. But we don't know that for sure. Now, regardless, it is clear that they wanted it. They thought of it, they heard it requested, they didn't tell their mom, Mom, that's a bad idea. They didn't say that. They didn't refuse to, they didn't resist the whole thought. So they were there, right? Now, they probably have in mind the way the Sanhedrin, how they sit and they meet. The president of the Sanhedrin will be sitting here, and there's 2 rows of Pharisees that will be sitting, So the one on the right, the one on the left, those are the ones that are closest to the president. Okay? So maybe that's the kind of thought that they have. Now these men, they took care of business in the absence of the president. So when the president or the head of the Sanhedrin is not present, who takes over? It is the one on the right. And if both of them are gone, for whatever reason, it is the one on the left that would preside the meeting. Understand? In case the president dies, who would replace him? In case the vice president will also die, who would replace him? The Speaker of the House. So you guys know. So now you're a citizen of America. All right? So you know. So there's this order of succession. Well, there's this what you call pecking order, if you may. When I was in the Middle East, Pastor Bob Lopez explained to me. He said, see every one of them, the men are wearing like long white. They look like priests. But what's the difference? He said, so I started paying attention, started looking at all those guys, all wearing white. He said there's a pecking order among them, really. And then he said, notice the headdress, the cover on their head, the collar and everything. That will tell you who's there on the top and who's there at the bottom. I said, wow, even among the Muslim world, they have that. So, but in the Christian world, do we need to have that? Do we have to the question of who's great, who should be superior here, who should be like the boss here? No, no one is the boss. When I went to, with my wife, do a lot of evangelism up in the mountains in Bicol. We encountered the communist people, we encountered the military. The military was the one who stopped us. They said, what right do you have here? Do you have a permit? I said, no, we don't have a permit. I don't even know that I'm supposed to get a permit. I said, where do we get that? He said, go down, go to the, what do you call that, the provincial, the camp, whatever. And go to the commanding officer, and there he will either grant you or not, a permit so that you can come back here and do what you're doing. I said, okay, so we went, and long story short, we were in front of the colonel. He was sitting there, I was with one of the deacons, and he asked us, who are you? So I introduced myself. He said, what's your group? So I gave him the name of the church. He said, who's your president? Wait. If you were in my place and you were asked, who is your president? What would you say? Do we have a president? We don't have a president. I said, sir, I'm sorry, we don't have a president. All right, so let me get this right. You're going there, you want to go there, you want me to grant you a permit. Who's sending you? Who's sending you? And then I was like, and he noticed that I was like confused, like I didn't know what to say. And he was like, okay, so who's your director? Director? We don't have a director. Do we have a director? We don't have a director. So I said, sir, we don't have a president, we don't have a director, but we follow God, we listen to His voice, and we receive orders from Him, and we go. Whoa, so you talk to God? I said, kind of. How do you talk to God? You hear Him speak to you? I said, yes, in a way, because this book, not that book. Not that book. Don't open that book to me. If you can't show me any authority you have, anyone who sent you to do this, so then I can't give you a permit. So that's the end of our conversation. We were not granted a permit to continue evangelizing. the whole town with 52 villages or barangays in our term in the Philippines. But we already done a lot of good things there. So, you see, to us it's not the issue who's great. As a matter of fact, you know what Jesus said? What's the greatest in His kingdom?
Who's the servant?
Maybe unexpectedly the disciples were like, what? Right? It's not the number of servants that you have. In our society, it's the number of servants that you have that may, make you look that great. Right? Rich. Because the standard of this world is about how much material wealth you have. And how many people are under your command. Right? What kind of power and authority do you have? What kind of power do you wield or carry? But to us as Christians, that is not the question. To us, there's only one who is almighty. Amen? There's only one Lord. There's only one God. Only one King that we obey. And many times you will find people in the church who want to be seen and heard. You find, that those who they want everyone to know who they are, what they've done, what they accomplished. They want people to know that they're involved, that they want to be involved in every decision, and they want to have their ministry as the prominent ministry in the church, and that's the only ministry we have, or I have, and outside of this, I don't get involved in any other ministries. We don't want that kind of mentality. No matter what kind of ministry you're involved in, support other ministries. Can I hear amen? 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 Yeah, get involved. Because if you're involved in a particular ministry, you want the rest of the church to support your ministry. Am I right?
Yes.
And it has to be reciprocated. It has to be mutual. It can't be like, oh, this is my ministry, this is my project, this is it. I'm not involved in any other ministry. I'm not interested in any other ministry. Don't have that kind of attitude and mentality. As much as you can get involved, get involved. Serve the Lord. It is not the question of who's doing it. It is not the question of, who accomplished it, who was given, or contributed, or whatever. Right? Pride says, look at me. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm saying. Listen, look at what I'm accomplishing here. In Mark chapter 7, Jesus mentioned pride as like in the same level as the sin of adultery and blasphemy, murder, and covetousness. That's how Jesus looked at it. Pride is there. As a matter of fact, when you look at why Lucifer was cast out of heaven, was it because he murdered somebody? Why?
Right.
Did he steal anything? It was his pride. Now C.S. Lewis called pride the great sin. Why is it the great sin? Because all other sins can be traced back to it. Because of pride you can't forgive. And because of pride you can't say I'm sorry. Right? Because of pride you don't want to lose the argument. And because of pride you look down on others. Because of pride you don't want to be at the last of the line. You want to be the first. It's got to be me first. That's the way of the world. And if that's the way of the world, and we're the same way, what's the difference? Right? Pride. Friends, many times things that start out to be a work of God, for God's glory, end up becoming a work of man for man's glory. And you don't want to be like that. That's why we learn lessons, from stories like this. And we must constantly ask ourselves this kinds of questions. Like, why do I preach? Why do I teach? Why do I sing in the choir? Why do I play instruments? Why do I give a special music? Why do I bring people here? Why do I go to the kitchen and wash, dishes there? Why do I involve myself in serving? Why do I, help put chairs together? So that Sunday this church is prepared. Why do I do things? Why do I go out there and hand out tracts? Let's ask. It is not just a question of what do I do. It's not just a question of how do I do it. That is a question of why. Meaning to say it goes right into the heart of the issue, which you call motive. What's your motive for coming here? Is it because you want to worship God or you want to accomplish other things? And I trust that it's because you want to worship God. Amen? I trust that that is your life, that you can't live a Christian life without coming to a corporate worship like this. You can't let Sunday pass and not worship God.